And good morning, and welcome to a wet Thursday. Over the last 3 hours, we've grown in temperature where normally we go down. We're up to 42 now, gained a couple of degrees since about 3 this morning. How are you? I hope you're doing well as we embark on this Thursday day. Now, before you leave home, please drive careful. Leave a little bit early. The roads are slick, and we want you home for Christmas. Speaking of that, here's what we've got with the Christmas countdown. 20 days, 17 hours, 28 minutes, and, well, the seconds keep ticking down. My, this is getting real close, isn't it? Another year of our lives has seemed to have flown by. But it's been a fun one, I will say that. We've had a fantastic year celebrating with you each and every day that goes by. Thank you for joining us and being a part of it. A lot of headlines that happened over the U.S. of A. over the last 24 hours. We'll go over all of that, what we know, and then we'll have the morning show kicking off at 7 with all your local events. That's up and coming today. As always, let's go to Collinsville now to First Baptist.
Today we continue with the first week of the Advent season with our focus on hope. You know, I looked and found that the world's largest anchor ever made is 76,000 pounds. It is 23 feet tall and 14 feet wide. It belonged to the Seawise Giant, a supertanker that's no longer in service. And this anchor would help hold the ship steady during storms. It would help stabilize the ship and keep the crew safe. The anchor would help the ship maintain the progress that the ship had made on its journey. The bottom line is that a ship without a large enough anchor can get in all kinds of trouble. For the ship, the anchor is a must. In Hebrews 6:19, it says, "We have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure." The hope we have in Christ serves as an anchor that our soul so desperately needs. This hope holds us steady during the inevitable storms of life. This hope gives our lives stability and helps us stand firm in our faith. This hope helps us maintain the progress of moving forward in our faith so we can continue to move on. Mostly, the hope we have in Christ serves as an anchor that our soul so desperately needs because of the work that Christ has done. The latter part of Hebrews 6:19 and verse 20 says, "It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain where Jesus, who went before us, has entered on our behalf. He has become a high priest forever in the order of Melchizedek." Christ has entered the presence of God the Father in the heavenly Holy of Holies on our behalf. And because of this, we can follow Him into God's presence. Jesus provided for us what we didn't have before, the opportunity to enter into the presence of God. Because Jesus has come, we have this hope that is an anchor for our soul, and it is firm and secure. What a great promise. This anchor is a must. It's a must-have for us, and God has provided it by sending Jesus, His Son. May you know the blessings of this hope found only in Jesus during this Advent season. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. As I mentioned, it's raining. Before you leave, you need to see this. Let's go over to Doc's Toyota Radar. Y'all, look at this rain. There's no way around it. The only glimpse, and it's closing in fast on you, is if you live in eastern Clark County. Somebody wake the high sheriff up and let him know it's just to rain, because it is. We've got lots of heavier rain there in Laurel, but all this is moving to the northeast, so expect showers to be bothering you before long, as we'll see this. Anywhere north of Lauderdale, south of Lauderdale, Mississippi, we're starting to see some move into the Philadelphia area. Kemper, not quite so bad now. Just over that hill across the county line a little bit, but not bad. Aerial flood watch we're watching here, moving in south of Macomb, going back all the way toward Baton Rouge there. That's what we got so far. We'll keep you up to date with the latest with weather as it happens, develops, and let you know where it is in association to your front door. Always important. At least it is in my opinion there. What happens when you work for a place that has a lot of money? You're not supposed to touch it. And I guess some people just can't handle the temptation. We go to Florida this morning. You've seen those Brinks trucks that deliver the money?
Yeah.
Well, what happens if they put an extra bag on your truck? Probably should turn it in and say somebody made a mistake. Video surveillance, of course, caught that extra bag being on there, and he quit that afternoon. It happened to contain $20 bills. It was headed for an ATM, $104,000 worth. He decided, well, he'd have a Merry Christmas without it. He's been arrested. He'll serve time for that. Yeah, $100,000 this day and time, as we all know, means absolutely nothing. I would have never in my life thought that growing up as a child, to where a house was somewhere between $20,000 to $30,000 as a kid, and cars were $3,000. And I'm talking before 10 years old, prices were like that. And if you knew anybody who had a house that cost $100,000, they were like it on a stick. Not so much. It was a mansion. It's not that way anymore. They've arrested 35-year-old Brian Miller. He'll have some new friends tonight.
Yeah.
My, oh my. Let's see here. Let's go to West Virginia. Anybody feel like singing along with a John Denver song? Almost Home, West Virginia. Y'all know that song, don't you? Blue Ridge Mountains. Let's go there for an accident. And of course, in our area, it's seldom that we see things like this. I remember the last bridge incident we had was I-20 right before crossing the Newton County line, where a car had gone off of it. And Simmons had to come up with their crane and pick it up and pull it up and set it over, if I remember correctly. A little bit different, West Virginia. Let's look at this. Let's go to the St. Albans, West Virginia Fire Department. Y'all see that bridge? Right there is an 18-wheeler that's lost control because of ice. Y'all look at this. Now, this is them getting the ropes ready, and he's still in the truck. He's dangling there, and all is connected to those cables and barely hanging on to the side of the bridge. That's how they go get him out of the truck.
That's it.
I want no part of that. By the way, y'all look how far down that is. That's not the ground right there in front of it. That's the top of a light pole way below. That's them operating everything. This was a scary moment there. Fire trucks on scene. That's a deep, deep, deep ravine.
That rope is about as big around as your pinky.
Big around as your pinky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that because I weigh a little bit more than that. Stout rope?
Oh, yeah, 4,500.
God bless those who take care of us. Now, that didn't just happen. Those guys train all the time to learn how to do that when a situation happens to where they can respond and save you. I know that trucker's happy. He's going to, what's that, Alabama? Roll on 18-wheeler?
Yeah, roll on 18-wheeler.
His family will be glad that he's coming home for Christmas. We see that in Alabama, we grab your attention on this because you're one of the 8 states. Ritz crackers. And I thought, well, they accidentally put the wrong packaging on it, meaning that some of them contained peanut butter and it wasn't marked. I thought, well, that ain't all that bad, and then it hit me. You're bound to know someone who's allergic to peanut butter. And for someone who's allergic to that, it can be deadly. They're recalling these, and if you live in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and the great state of Alabama, return those immediately and don't eat them. If you're not allergic, I guess it doesn't matter, but if you've got someone in your family that's allergic, what was that show that The Rock was in where he found out he had a daughter and she was allergic to it and she ate something in a restaurant?
Oh.
Bedazzled, was that it? Where he was the football player?
Close to something like it, yeah.
Well, that was a good show, and that little girl was allergic to that stuff in the movie.
Doing ballet and all that.
Yeah, he done the ballet football
You
team.
don't make fun of Rock from wearing a tutu.
Here's some sad news as we wake up this morning. One of our last D-Day veterans have passed away. He was 101. Charles Shea. He was a decorated Native American who served D-Day. He was an American. We pass condolences to him and family members as he has slipped away from us. We hate to say that. I can't even go deeper into this story. I just had to shut off of knowing what must have gone on. Michigan is where we go. And you, as I said, I couldn't read the whole story because it made my skin crawl. But family members are charged in the death of a pregnant woman in Michigan. Okay, that's the headline to this story. As you get deeper into this, apparently they weren't happy about her being pregnant. She was killed with them trying to remove the child. I just cannot wrap my brain around somebody with hatred that would do something that bad. Awful, awful. Well, that government shutdown that happened, Delta Airlines, y'all know who I'm talking about. You've flown the friendly skies before. Guess what that cost them? Chuck Schumer cost that company $200 million. $200 million. And, of course, to stay open, they've got to pass along those expenses. Thank you, Chuck. He didn't accomplish anything, by the way. 30 months is what the doctor will get as we get into the guy from Friends. What was his name? Matthew Perry. The doctor was sentenced yesterday to 30 months in prison for his role in prescribing drugs, letting him get those drugs. This is your Earl Pitts moment of the day. Do y'all remember us talking about, and this is on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Do y'all remember a few months ago when ICE was looking around and they discovered that a police officer was a legal alien in Illinois?
Yeah.
Well, of course, he was removed. He was released on $2,500 bond. He was not paid. And y'all want to know what has happened since? And we're not going to call it the great. We're going to call it Illinois, just period. They've paid him back pay and reinstated him as a police officer in Illinois. And again, he is not a United States citizen. My, oh my, oh my. That's Hanover Park, Illinois, is where that happened. That's another thing that I just can't seem to wrap my brain around. How can they do that? Do you remember the California doctor that we talked about yesterday morning that was shot in his driveway? Him and his wife. They've made an arrest since we last talked about that. Guess who did it? It's not going to shock you. It was their son. We don't know what the reason was or why he did it, but one can only imagine. And you're right, Terry, that's Illinois for you. And Diane, you're right, we do live in a wicked, wicked world. This has been everywhere, but we can't overlook this. And I was tied up. I was somewhere, and I didn't get to write up an article on it. Now, all I had with me at that point in time when this all broke loose on this was my cell phone, and I don't do so well with typing a big story on my cell phone if I'm out and about. I got to have a computer with big, large letters. We go to the Animal Control Center. This is out of state. Do y'all remember in Meridian? This was a year or so ago, the 22nd Avenue exit, the Exxon gas station that sits on the corner, to where the alarm went off. Police surrounded the building, and there were 8 raccoons inside. Y'all remember that? Well, we go to the Hanover Animal Protection Shelter. We have a drunk and more drunk coon. There he is. He broke into a liquor store, and after getting into the liquor store, he knocked bottles down. And they've got the video of this whole thing here. And let's click on this picture here. Here's the destruction. Look at these pictures here. There's liquor everywhere. The problem was the coon licked up what he knocked over. The store owners would return to find him passed out in the bathroom laying there. He is drunk as a skunk, as they say. He's going to be okay, but he had a headache, to say the least. ICE, and again, as you get into their X post, they're funny often, the way they do things. They poke fun at themselves and just let others know that, well, they're still doing their job there. Homeland Security, their official picture says, this winter, the forecast calls for ice. It is then with a ramming iron. Pretty funny. I got to give them cleverness for that. Yesterday, Texas, 23 illegal aliens were stuffed in the back of an 18-wheeler. They've arrested the driver. He's been charged. They're going to be sent back where they came from. That was from Mexico. That's where they came from. And again, how many times have we heard stories to where the driver runs and leaves the truck on the side of the road and then the people in the back have no way to get out? We've heard of that. He's been arrested. New York, here's one for you. You talked about hiring back as we looked at Illinois a minute ago, where they hired back the police officer. As New York City Well, in retaliation to ICE coming, they freed 6,900 that were in jail. Turn them free, let them go. I could do the breakdown of what they've all done with their crimes where it wasn't good. Somebody will pay for all this one day. U.S. has paused all pending green card applications from those 19 countries. Remember that? We talked about that last week. Now, here's something. Anybody ever heard of a guy named Pete Holmes? And I meant to Google the guy to see if I know who he is. I didn't. I don't know him, and I lost track of time this morning. Here's a quote from him that just kind of stood out this morning. He said, "Merry Christmas can go either way. And I hate to offend people, so this whole Christmas season, I don't let out one Merry Christmas. Instead, I say, may the birth of the one and only true God, Jesus Christ, bestow upon you a blessing of grace and peace upon your household, and to the belittlement of every other false religion." Pete.
There you go.
I think he just kind of told them off, didn't he? Yeah. And again, I don't know who he is, but maybe he's I'm assuming he's a comedian of some sort, but I don't know that. But he done quite good there. Minnesota, as we start talking about this thing, did y'all know that they got a new flag? Mississippi done theirs in the cloak of darkness, if you'll remember, and all pledged to let the Mississippians vote on it, which they did not. It's still a sore subject across the state. But Minnesota, and let me see if I thought I had a picture of their current flag. Yeah, I'll show you this example. And again, this was also from Twitter X. The top flag is their current flag right there. It has what made everybody mad, or liberals, so to speak, was it was a farmer, and it also had a Native American in there with the farmer, with the Native American walking away. What does that symbolize? I don't know what it was originally done. Below is the new flag that they're going to be flying in Minnesota. Anybody notice that resemblance down the right-hand side of those pictures there? Looks a lot like those, doesn't it? My, oh, my. Oh, as I stay on the X subject this morning, Australia, this was kind of funny. They let, I think it was 550,000 immigrants into the country last year, into that. But it said, you ain't getting into our country with a banana. As you enter Australia, it has a thing. If you've got a banana or an apple, you've got to throw it away. They will not allow it into the country. Is that, do they think that it has some type of something?
That it can carry a parasite or something.
Okay, a parasite is something. Hey, good news. Up to $820 million is where we are on the Powerball jackpot. 820. Now, we got to get to here in just a second. I've got more stories, but I'm going to pause on all that. There was something I wanted to read, if I can find this, before we get into weather, because it just stuck out to me. This comes from, you ever read something that somebody famous put out and it touched you? This touched me earlier this morning. This is from one of my heroes. Y'all like Clint Eastwood as much as I do? Clint has always been that guy that stood up to the bad guy and done what was right. He recently did a speech, and I'll try my best to read this. I've got specs on, but I'm going to try to read it to you. Again, this is Clint Eastwood. Growing old can be pretty scary, is what it's called. Your bones don't move as easily, your eyes feel weary from the light, and your lungs often crave a break from the exhausting breath. But what's even scarier and more exhausting is reaching 90 and realizing there's no one you love nearby. Listening with a hint of disinterest to your tales filled with imagined heroics. You know they may not care, but you still take a joy, like a grandfather, in sharing what you think matters with your grandkids. It's frightening to be alone with everyone who used to seek you out, and after a lifetime of chasing the light, you end up without family, living in darkness when you really needed someone to guide you toward the light. So make a priority to build a family. Chasing fame is like chasing ashes blown away by the wind. It neither ignites a fire nor stays put. Clint Eastwood. Let that sink in. We'll be right back with your forecast.
On a hot day chasing crime in Meridian, to make a man thirsty, there's no better way than an ice-cold Coca-Cola to quench your thirst.
Or an ice-cold Diet Coke if you prefer that flavor.
No matter where you're at, stop by a local store and support that store and Meridian Coca-Cola. They're supporting us every day.
The Scotty Ray Report studio is sponsored by Environment Masters, providing hassle-free heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical services since 19.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
As we get into our record highs and record lows this morning, 2005, we set a high of 79 on this date. Back in 89, it was 20. Well, I remember both of those dates. As we look at today's forecast, 47 is the best we're going to get in Meridian. You'll stay that way through Philadelphia. We'll even get warmer at 49 in Columbus. It gets a little cooler as we get into South Haven, up in that area there across the Iukan corner, from about 39 to 44. So we're right in that the western side of Mississippi. Could see some 39-degree weather to the south of us on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. 55 for a high today. Natchez, we'll see 51. Even Vicksburg coming in at 47. Now, as we look at tonight's low, Burr, 38. Could be worse, I know. We'll see 36 in Philadelphia as you still see some light rain here, but it's going to stay above freezing, so we're good. Tupelo at 35. South Haven below freezing there. Tunica around 30 degrees tonight. We'll see 32 still freezing there at Corinth. And as you go down the river, 37 in Vicksburg like it is here in the Meridian area, and 48 at Gulfport for an overnight low tonight. Again, showers still in the forecast. Here's what we've got for our Alabama friends. 48 in Demopolis. We'll see 50 in Tuskegee, and same as that in Birmingham. Montgomery, 49. Even Auburn, they ain't got a coach yet, do they?
I don't think so.
Still without a coach. It's going to be 49 there. As we start to see normal temperatures move into the state, we'll see that West Texas is getting warmer, and that warmer weather, which will drive all of this back up to the 60s once again, is on the way. Now, here's our 7-day forecast that we stay for the next 4 to 5 days in the 50s and then start seeing those 60s again. 47 today, 51 tomorrow to end the week. 39 for a low with a 40% chance of rain during the day and at night. We'll try to get hour by hour because I know everybody's wanting to make sure that these Christmas parades get off without a hitch. Saturday, 54 with a 50% chance of showers during the daytime. Should clear up for the Christmas parade at night. We'll double check that as well. Sunday rolls in with 63 down to a 20% chance of showers. Monday, 51. Rain moves out. We'll see 56 on Tuesday. And by the time we get to next Wednesday, we'll see the temperatures back into the 60s at 63. As we go all the way to the 18th, almost Christmas, we'll see 60s basically. We'll have a few days that will hit 59ish, but most of all, we'll see 60 degrees, nighttime lows of 40 plus to 45. Not bad. Small chances of rain each day there, increasing on the 18th there. Let's talk about fishing. If you're going today, our friends at Parker Wholesale want to send you out to that. Major times to fish today will be this morning around 10:24 to 12:24. Not a bad time. This afternoon, you can hit it at 3:24 after work till about dark 30 there. It'll be good there. Now, the wind is going to be light northeast, increasing 5 to 10 this morning. Let's find out best times to deer hunt today, brought to you by Wimberley Taxidermy. Today's ranking is getting better. It's best, as we went from average to better to best. Getting good. Major times to hunt today, 10:27 to 12:20. That was this morning. Let me back up, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Whoops. This morning, going on now, minor time to 7 o'clock, and then again this afternoon from 4 until 5. So that hour before dark should be good. Sunrise rolls in at 6:40. Sunset will happen at 4:49. Now let's go take a look at radar to get you on your way as you're heading out the door where you need to go. Let me get back over here. I didn't slide back over to radar. And here we go on radar this morning as we go back here again. Heavy rain in our area, and this is going to stretch all the way into Kemper County now as we show some locations as we'll see this. This is all around West Kemper, even up to right there at Linville United Methodist Church, over to Cyples Mills. We've got shower, and this is making its way toward Preston. Y'all be ready for that. Over 39, 16. They're about where the dummy line is coming into Scuba. Right before you get to the city limit sign, it's going to be heavy right on the outskirts of Scuba all the way into DeKalb. As you get out of Lauderdale County, heavy rain all the way to Portal, there to the Chicken Shack. You'll get a little break before you reach Scuba. Western DeKalb, after you get near Ford's store, right along in there, a little break of that, but most of Lauderdale County is pouring. Look at this. If you're in Lauderdale, be careful. All the way over to Lawrence, Mississippi on I-20. That's a treacherous road. Be careful going between here and Jackson. Highway 15 north or south of Newton. Look at this. Clark County now covered in rain. And we've got a lot right here. And again, this is down on the rural route as we get down here south of, right down here. Barnett's getting a lot of rain right there at Detwilder. All those areas right along in there. And, of course, at the church there in Harmony, getting a lot of rain. As we get into Waynesburg, you see that plenty there as well. Laurel, Hattiesburg has got rain as well. Grove Hill, Alabama, y'all be careful if you're traveling 17 all the way up from Lisbon, Alabama, those areas there around Pennington. Be careful. We got the morning show kicking off in 3 minutes. Come back and join us. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back live in just a moment at the Scotty Ray Report.